As many of you know, the co-op feature to the Halo Infinite campaign isn't coming until May of 2022. However, that has not stopped fans, because what you're watching right now is someone unlocking the co-op feature way before it was supposed to be released. And in today's video, we're going to be showing you how to unlock this feature. You heard me right, you are able to unlock local co-op in Halo Infinite's campaign today. A Halo Infinite player has actually discovered this glitch months before the feature is planned to be officially released. Reddit user elpanons2922 showed off some gameplay he found in a local Facebook group where they managed to glitch the campaign into co-op. They never got to reveal how they did it, but they did say they were running on Xbox Series S. The video shows two players being a bit further into the campaign, playing the Command Spire mission. We can see them both taking out enemies with different weapons and the ability to see one another. In today's video, we're going to be showing you how to do this, the drawbacks that come with unlocking this feature, and explain why 343 hasn't released this feature yet. There's a lot to dive into here, so be sure to leave a like, it really helps us grow, and if you're one of the 56% of you who are watching and not subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can catch up on all Halo Infinite news. Besides that, let's dive right into the video. Now, this isn't the only gameplay we have of split-screen campaign co-op. Noble Actual from Twitter also released a very short amount of gameplay showing off this feature, but the difference here is he knows how to replicate it. He states this only works with Xbox consoles and not PC, and the steps are as follows. Step number 1, Halo Infinite must be offline, meaning your whole game console has to be disconnected from the internet when you launch it. Step number 2, connect a second controller whilst you're offline. Step number 3, sign into an Xbox account. This doesn't necessarily mean going back online. Step number 4, start campaign with controller 1. Step number 5, in-game, hit start and then back. Step 6, on the second controller, hit start to add the second player on the fire team. And then there you go, Halo Infinite co-op has been enabled. This is really easy to replicate actually, there isn't a lot of technicality to it. Just a quick heads up, as of recording this video, Noble Actual has actually removed his tweet showing how to replicate this co-op feature. We don't exactly know why he's done this, maybe someone from Microsoft has asked him politely to do so. So if you are going to replicate this, do it at your own risk. We don't know if this is going to get your Xbox account banned or put you in a compromised position in any way, but whether or not this gets patched before Christmas, we don't really know. There are a few drawbacks to this feature though. It isn't fully working, obviously. For starters, player 2 has no HUD whatsoever. They don't know what their secondary weapon is, they don't know how much ammo or health they have. I know in the first example of co-op gameplay I showed, we can see a HUD for the second player. We actually don't know the methods used by these guys and how they enabled campaign co-op. Twitter user Noble Actual is the only person that showed step by step on how he managed to do it. And when you use his methods, player 2 doesn't have any HUD whatsoever. Alongside that, the game's FOBs, which are pretty much fast travel points in the open map, are just completely busted. If you try to teleport to one of them, the game just locks up, doesn't work. And if either player dies, again, the game will just lock up and will not respawn either of you. So playable, yes. Completable, I'd probably say not right now. Still, if you have a friend and you've got nothing to do, it's actually quite a fun thing to mess around with. But there is one other big point that you need to be really careful of here. If you replicate these steps shown and try to unlock this feature, it will completely brick your game saves. So if you don't want to have to start the campaign all the way from the beginning again, don't use this feature. It will completely ruin your save files. Twitter user Halo.api shows us this gameplay of you trying to launch back into your single player campaign not long after replicating the co-op campaign feature. Here we can see the game blink to black frequently, the Master Chief model isn't rendered in-game, mission and progression mismatches, and you just can't spawn anymore. Only way to fix this, of course, is to delete your save file and start all over again. So you have been warned, don't do this if you're not willing to lose all your progress in the game. And finally, why hasn't 343 actually released this if we have a basic version of the co-op system? It's obvious it's not that difficult to enable it on Xbox Series S. And I'm sure it wouldn't take that long to just spawn the chief back in when you want to just play on your own again. So why haven't they just gone ahead and added this in right now? Well, this is an open world game after all, and we haven't actually seen any gameplay of two players being very far away from one another. Unlike all other Halo Infinite campaigns where it's level after level curated where players stay very close together, this is an open world game now, which means there is a much larger map. We believe this might be a technical issue. Synchronizing events from one side of the map to the other might actually prove to be more difficult than we think. So the usual methods of enabling co-op in other Halo games is not really going to work here. And to clarify, many people believe that this is evidence that 343 lied about not having co-op ready for the campaign. They did state in an interview when they talked about delaying the feature that they had a functional build of co-op already. They said it needed a lot more development before it's actually finished, and it seems like we actually get to see it in the flesh here today. And again, this is just split screen local co-op. We actually haven't seen any gameplay of multiplayer campaign co-op from two different consoles or PCs. So that is another thing that 343 developers have to work on as well. It's a shame we have to wait until May of 2022 when their first season of Halo Infinite's multiplayer finishes. That's when many people are theorizing it will be a hard date for the feature to come. Not to mention, Forge probably won't be coming until the end of Season 2, which is way late into 2022. My theory, I think all these features would have probably released at the same time with the game on launch. But because the game had massive backlash regarding the trailer that came out on July 2020 when Microsoft held its own Xbox Series X game showcase, I think 343 developers realized they needed to focus a lot more on the graphics and making the game feel more polished, rather than trying to work on Forge or the campaign co-op, etc, etc. So instead, resources were pooled into that, and these other features we were going to get got delayed. But that's just my opinion. There's actually no news or evidence stating that this is actually what happened. And I'm actually more interested in passing the question over to you guys and asking you, do you think these features got delayed because of the initial backlash in 2020? Let me know your reasons why in the comments down below. I read all of them, and I'll get back to some of you as well. Before we go, there's one thing I would have loved to have seen with this feature. If anyone's able to replicate it on their Xbox, it'd be awesome to see two players play on the easiest difficulty and complete it from beginning to end without dying and crashing the game. That would be incredibly interesting to see, and I also want to see if there's any bugginess that happens when two players in co-op tend to drift away too far from one another in the open world. Does it cause any extra bugs that we haven't seen yet? Does it cause any desyncs where what happens in one area doesn't happen for another player? Unfortunately, I don't have answers to those questions in this video, but if we do, we'll definitely make another video on it. Also, if you love everything Halo Infinite and Star Wars, why not join our Discord? We have a really close-knit community where everyone's extremely friendly to one another, and we also have a meme competition going on where the best EcksToo related meme can earn a huge first prize. So if you have good Photoshop or video editing skills, you might have a good chance in winning. So an invite code to our Discord will be in the pinned comment down below. But with that all said and done, guys, I've been Charlie, you've been watching EcksToo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.